Today I got a special guest on the phone, a very funny man, up-and-coming comedian. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, G?
How you doing? My name is Zapata. My gang name is Beaver from outside the ballpark. Up-and-coming comedian right here. You know, like the homie said, tragedy makes the best comedy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I know we'll get into your life real quick because I know you got some stuff coming up. Let's go ahead and get into your life. I know you had some tragic events in your life. You know, your life hasn't been all sunshine and roses. How was your life as a juvenile?
Growing up, you know, I had a typical Mexican upbringing. You know, I grew up in around the gang environment. I was exposed to it at a very young age. At the age of 10, I already had made up my mind. I wanted to be a gang member. You know, most people go one day, wake up and say they want to be a fireman or some shit like that. I woke up and I wanted to be a gangster. You know, I idolized the people, you know, that I would see on the street, you know?
Yeah.
Like making money, out there hustling, or just standing on the corner. I would just look at these fools and be like, fuck, I want to stand on the corner, you know? Not knowing the shit that came with it, you know?
What do you think it was that attracted you to that lifestyle?
I just think it was the power, the acceptance, you know, like we all want to be accepted, you know, we all want to feel good, we all want to feel respected, you know. I think out of everything it was the respect more, you know, the respect that you get when somebody's like, oh shit, like that's my boy, like that motherfucker somebody. Like I always wanted to be that somebody, and I was raised around it. My family, my brothers, everybody were all gangsters.
Yeah.
So it was like I followed suit, you know.
And I know there comes a time when you're like a wannabe, and then you transition into an actual gangster. What happened when you made that transition? Did you kind of see benefits right away, or were there consequences right away?
Okay, so exactly like you said, I was speaking to somebody because I have a friend that's over at my house right now, and so I was saying what the transition. You know, most people have that transition on the streets. You know, like you know, they go from like gangsters to hardcore gangster. My transition was when I went to juvenile hall. You know.
Yeah.
I got arrested for some like bullshit. It was like a probation sweep, right? And I went to juvenile hall and I got exposed to like more harder criminals, you know?
Yeah.
You know, armed robbery people, fucking carjacking people, you know, like, and it's a different environment. In that environment, you know, it was Los Padrinos, you know, Los Padrinos. That
Yeah.
everybody's getting down. And like I said, my gang is a very small gang. You know, there's a handful of us, and the people that we don't get along with, they're big. You know, these fools are in the hundreds. And long story short, I had to make a choice, like either jump or get jumped. And I was like, fuck that. I'm not going to sink or swim, you know, and I was going to swim.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Swim, you know?
Yeah, because it's
I feel that's what... Go ahead.
No, go ahead, my bad.
No, it's all good. I feel like that was my transition, you know, and just every single time I went to juvenile hall, it just got worse and worse. I just moved up from there.
Was that more of I know for some people that'd be like a deterrent, like, oh, I don't want part of this. Was that more like of an ego booster for you, like, hell yeah, I'm in this shit, ain't nobody stopping me kind of thing?
It was an ego booster, yeah. Like the spur, like I was telling you, when I used to go to juvenile hall, I used to be like, I would wait for my enemies to come get me. But I started getting to the point like, fuck them. I would go looking for these people, you know?
Yeah.
Or I would let them know straight up, like, oh yeah, fuck this. And I was juvenile hall, I was fighting everywhere. I was fighting on the land, in the courthouse. Like they knew me. They put me in the orange suit. I don't know if you remember the orange suits.
Yeah.
To the HROs. I was HRO all the time. So they knew I was going to get down in class, outside of class. I was fucking running to them, everything. Like I stopped being like, you lose that fear, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what happens with a lot of generations that are now. You know, they still have that fear. They don't lose it. You know, or some they just don't have it. You know. I lost that fear. Like I was like, fuck it.
So you go from becoming from the streets to juvenile hall, becoming a hardcore gangster, or becoming more hardened, I should say, because you're still relatively young. Do you keep going to juvenile hall, or are the crimes going up, or basically are they just like
going up?
Okay.
Yeah, I went from just probation sweeps to like doing armed robberies. I actually went to YA. I went to camp. I went to Scobie. I went to Red Bank. All these camps, right? And these are all like detention camps that they have for kids, you know, trying to save you still.
Yeah, like probation camps.
Yeah, I was out there, like, to me, it was about making a name, you know, like, to prove myself. Like, I had to be the one that, you know, I wasn't going to be, like, because you hear about people ranking out all the time, you know?
Yeah.
People fucking, eating cheese. Like they say, I always tell myself I'm never gonna eat cheese. Like I'm never gonna do that. So it just got to the point where it became embedded in me, like it's a part of you that, like, waking up and brushing your teeth,
Yeah.
It's a part of your ego. And you do it to live and you do it to survive. I did it for both.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wasn't going to go out. Yeah, but the crimes went up. I went from bullshit crimes to robberies, and I became more aggressive every time I got out of jail. And it was bad. I went to YA. I did like 7 years in YA for carjacking.
So
I carjacked one of my enemies.
so people don't know what not carjack, but what YA is. That's the California Youth Authority, and it's basically a juvenile prison that's been shut down because it was a failure. 95% recidivism rate. So did you find how did you find it your time was in the Youth Authority?
It was bad. Like that's honestly what made me a worse person. Like I was telling the people that I talk to, like they set up these programs to help you, but they don't realize that they're mixing you with harder criminals. There's drugs, like in YA, about YA.
Yeah.
There's drugs, there's homosexuality. I wasn't exposed to none of that.
Yeah.
The first time I ever seen somebody commit the homosexual act was when I was in YA. I never knew about that. I didn't know that kind of trauma, so I seen it firsthand. I seen it. My friends, I had friends that were forced to do homosexual shit,
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't understand too. Is we're talking about a juvenile prison, and it's juveniles that are in there. Kids, basically children. And you just brought up a good point. There's forced rapes. You know what I mean? It's not even really a homosexual act at that point. It's more like predatory act. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Literally.
Yes.
That's what they're doing. And it's fucked up because like little kids like me, when I went to YA, I was 12. You don't know, like you're scared. You see a big ass fucking black fool that's 18 years old, 25 years old, telling you to suck his dick or he's gonna kill you. What are you gonna do? If you don't have that heart, you're gonna suck dick. Like it's gonna happen. It sounds fucked up, and excuse my language, but the fear overcomes people.
Yeah.
And I was no different than other people. I had a lot of issues when I was in YA, but I feel like it made me a better person. I pushed through it and I did it. Most people do it for, like we were talking last time, most people do it because they want to be the craziest or they want to be the downest or the most known. Like my years in YA, I did it to survive, like I had to do it,
Yeah. So let's go back a little bit. So now you're talking about people being victimized, and just want to make it clear, you weren't one of those people. You were not victimized, correct?
No, I was
Okay.
never raped. They tried to fucking do some shit like that, but fuck, I never went out like that. Because like we spoke, like there's human raza, there's respected black, and then there's cases. I'm pretty sure you remember cases.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Which means somebody had to take care of you. So when I went to YA, as soon as I got off the bus, just because of the gang I was from, and because of my enemies that were so big and so much in power at the time, they were like, you're not even Mexican no more. Like, I couldn't say I was Mexican. I wasn't considered raza. Or like a fucking other,
Damn.
And at that age of 12, you don't understand that. I got off the bus and I'm like, what the fuck you mean I can't say I'm Mexican? Like, how is that possible? How do you take somebody's ethnicity,
Yeah.
But they do it, and they did it, I couldn't say it. I couldn't kick it with my people. I couldn't shower with the Mexicans. I couldn't sleep with the Mexicans. I couldn't even mingle. I would go sit down to eat breakfast. All the Mexicans would get up. The Beaver I would get up. I couldn't sit in the chairs and watch TV with everybody, Like, it was a fucked up experience, I went through that shit for like 2 years,
Damn. Now at the beginning of the interview, you're saying how you wanted the respect, you wanted the acceptance. That's part of the reason why you joined the gang. How was it having to go through this, knowing that that's part of the reason you joined was for the respect and the acceptance, and you weren't necessarily getting it at the beginning of your stay in the Youth Authority?
It was disappointing. It's degrading. It's like, honestly, I looked at my gang like, that was my family, and I'm thinking I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm out here, I did all this shit for these fools. Like, I never fucking went out. Like, nobody could say nothing bad about me, And here I am. I can't even sit down and eat a sopa with my own people, I can't even play handball with my own people,
Yeah.
I couldn't shower with my own people, I was forced to be around like the homosexuals and the outcasts and the cases, but I was not a case, and I was one of the very few situations like that. And a lot of people don't know my story because people wouldn't talk about it out of respect for me because, they were like, fuck that, this fool's with it, like, you know.
Well, just
but I was never ashamed of it, never embarrassed. Like, I never did nothing fucked up. It's just, I just had enemies that were in power,
Yeah, and just to set the record straight now, you and I ended up in the same facility. Both of us ended up at Fred C. Nellis.
Yeah.
I'm one of your rivals from the streets. Now we're grown men. We're beyond that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
way beyond it.
yeah, but on the streets and back then we were rivals. By the time I showed up, you were already respected. Everybody knew Beaver from Northside Bowling. Everybody knew what you were about. How was that journey? Like, cause you said you got there, you didn't have necessarily respect. People know who you were, but they didn't respect you in the way that they should have, where you had a seat at the table. But so I would assume you would have to fight your way out of that situation.
I did. I fought literally that I could remember over 500 times right there,
Damn.
Because I'm telling you, my gang is small, and like I was saying, we don't get along with Monteflores, La Puente. Those are all big gangs, and not only them, but I was going at it with Florencia. I was going at it with 18th Street. I was going at it with the Maravillas. I was going at it with Colina Chiques. I was going at it with East Coast Crip. I was going at it with Black T-Stones. I was going at it with Florida 40s, Harlem 30s.
Yeah, and
like all the people that were.
For the people that don't know either, those were the deeper gangs in the Youth Authority. I'm from Monteflores. We are one of the deeper gangs. Florencia Trece was huge in there. 18th Street huge. Colonia Chiques, Westside Verdugo. And for the blacks, you had Black P-Stones were deep. East Coast and Harlem. So you're going at it with all of them.
Yeah.
Damn. And how was that? Because did you have any backup, or did anyone say, you know what, I got your back? Damn.
Nothing. I'm telling you, and that was for like my first 2 years. I was sleeping with my shoes on, literally with my shoes on, because I would get dragged out of my cell. There was an incident where some guy from La Puente, like, he hated me. My problems were with different people. There was a guy from La Puente. He hated me. He dragged me out of my cell while I was asleep, just to humiliate me. But I never went out. I jumped up and I fought this fool.
Yeah.
And anybody, the thing is, how they had the ramflas, right? So if you fight one, you have to fight like 10 of them.
Yeah.
I would end up fighting one person, and next thing you know, I get a fucking kite saying I have to fight 10 more people, And I didn't care. I was like, fuck it.
Let me explain that real quick. So, what he's talking about, ramfla, is you basically have somebody's back. So if you fight with me, you're gonna have to fight with my ramfla. Whoever's down with me, you have to fight with them. Sometimes that could be a huge car. That could be like 10, 15 people. So fighting one person could turn into 15 fights. And a kite is when you send a message. So they're sending a message just telling him that he has to get down with all these people. Now, knowing that you had to go at it alone, were there ever times where it's like, man, is it even worth it? Or were you just like, fuck that, I'm not giving up?
I ain't gonna lie, I did. I would feel sometimes like I'd be tired, And there was one particular incident, and I was maybe 2 years into my journey, in YA. And, everybody has a breaking point.
Yeah.
And my mom, she'd go to visit me, and she'd be like, Mijo, like, what's wrong with you? I never scared my mom. I never told my mom nothing that was happening. But she knew, because she'll see me with broken arms. My whole time in the Youth Authority, I had 8 broken bones.
Damn.
That's my jaw got broken 2 times in the Youth Authority. I got a fucking stitches on my head, stitches on my face, stitches on my lip. I had a broken arm twice. The guys from Monte broke my hand. I was in the gym, and one was holding me down, the other one just stomped it out. Broke my hand.
Fuck.
Straight up. Yeah. But I didn't go out. I fucking fought him with one hand. A broken fucking hand. I wasn't gonna go out. I wasn't, And at the end, I think that's why the respect started coming, because they were like, damn, this motherfucker, he ain't gonna stop, But like I was saying, that was my breaking point. I was tired, and my mom got to me, I was 16 at the time already, and my mom was like, Mijo, just come home, because you know how they give you that chance to go home,
Yes.
She's like, just leave it all behind you and just come home. And I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I do want to go home. Like, I want to fucking go to high school. I want to do all that regular shit, right? So, this is a true story. I'm laying down in my bed and I pray. I never pray, and I prayed. I was like, God, you hear my prayers, tomorrow, just let everybody leave me alone, help me go home, you know. And I go to school, and you know, I'm at school. The school is everybody's at school, and
Yeah.
I'm walking in, and I just think like it's gonna be a good day, you know. God's gonna answer my prayers. As soon as I pass the metal detectors, I was going into the Colonia Chicas, right?
Yeah.
This fool from Colonia Chicas sees me, and he's fucking Beaver from Northside Bowling, and I was like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, fuck you, I shot at you. And I was like, fuck. So I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'll get down with this fool, right?
Yeah.
And we catch a blind, you know, we get down, and then we sneak away. Now I go into the bin. I don't know if you remember the bin. The
Yeah,
bin
hell
was
yeah.
notorious for fucking people fighting right there.
Yeah.
I end up getting down with some fool Chucky from Southside Crooks, and then another homie from Sultan, Miklo. So we get down, whatever, boom, 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 boom. And this is 3 fights that I've had within just the same day, right? I go to class, there's another guy from Colonia Chicas right there. So I get down with the guy in class, right? And I'm just like, fuck, this is the worst day of my life. 5 fucking fights, right?
Yeah.
I get out of class, and you know that all my problems came from, you know, El Monte, right? There was this one person that started all my shit, right? And he was looking for me more than anybody, right?
Yeah.
And now he's a regular cat. From what I hear, he's a regular cat, functional person. I just think back then he just hated me. I don't know what it was. I never got to speak to the person. But that's where all the problems came from, you know? So, long story short, I see this fool. And I just knew it was him because his face and my face locked, and I was like, that's it, this is him. So he asked me, hey, where you from? And I was like, you know, being from Northside Poland. And he's like, man, it's Chippy from Flores. And, you know, Chippy has respect right there.
Yeah,
like,
hell yeah.
Was like a god right there, you know? And so we go at it. We go at it, boom, 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 boom. They fog us. Like, this fool was a writer. We didn't stop fighting until they fogged us. And I don't know, you remember the fogger, right?
Oh, I remember the fogger.
That,
Let me explain what that is
no
real quick. So, in order to break up a fight, what the staff will do is they'll pepper spray you. But the fogger lets out a huge amount of pepper spray at one time. And basically, you're supposed to overwhelm you. But you get used to it. So go ahead, Beaver.
Yeah, so we took it to the Foggers game. Man, we broke it up, and so now I go to lockup. And like I said, I had been brought up Firme Raza before, but they kept dropping me because of different situations. So now I go back to lockup again, right? And this is what happened. So I don't know if you remember what getting gassed is, right?
Yeah.
So I come back from fucking lockup, and I go. They always send me to the fucked up units. I was always in Jackson, and you know there was certain cottages that were crazy.
Yeah.
Jackson, Cleveland, all these Kennedy, they were crazy. You know, a lot of other units, they weren't for crazy. Washington was crazy también, you know?
Yeah.
And long story short, they sent a fool on a fucking mission, a fucking puppet look from fucking Stockton, right? So this motherfucker, I'm chilling, right? And like I said, I wasn't feeling at the time. So I'm eating by myself, whatever, right? I already had a fucking horrible day, you know, because all that shit that happened, I just got fogged, all that. It just gets worse, though.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting down and I see this one. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing, right? And I'm like, all right, fuck whatever. He's fucking drugs, you know, because motherfuckers do drugs. I thought he was drugs. Comes up to me with a fucking water bottle, right? But I'm not knowing what that is, you know. You didn't know what that was. I didn't know what that was, you know.
Yeah.
So this motherfucker fucking gasses me, you know, just so I wouldn't be Firme Raza. The black fools paid him. Because I found out later, because I ended up beating the shit out of this fool after this.
So let me explain what that is real fast. So when somebody gasses you, is that they're putting urine and feces, sometimes even vomit, in a bottle, and they're throwing it at you. So if it touches your face, then you're considered like leva. You can't be Firme. So it's fucked up. It's a fucked up situation because you got no say in the matter. It's not something that you did. It's not an action you mean displayed to be dropped. So it's a fucked up situation. But go ahead, G.
Yeah. So they do that to me, dog. So I'm already thinking in my mind like my career's ruined. The fuck you, I'm never gonna be nothing, right? But like I said, something always told me like fuck that, I'm not gonna go out, you know.
Yeah.
I had that heart, you know, like I wasn't gonna go out, even though I was already fucked. I jump up, right, and I ended up gassing this motherfucker, right, but it's not enough. I kick him in his face, and I'm just like, it's not enough, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, you remember, you know, we had those little spring, this is when I became Firme. We had in the windows, there was spring, right?
Yeah.
So out of enrage, I fucking break a piece of the spring, right? I jump on this fool, and the Hudas are still trying to get me, right? So I just I whack him. I'd never stabbed nobody in my life, right?
Yeah.
And I whacked him like 6 times, you know? And so cops came, whatever. I'm not gonna say names, because this cop he did me a favor, right?
Yeah.
He sees me. I'm not gonna lie. I was crying, I was crying, but out of anger, and it just in rage. Imagine, that shit happened to you. And he goes, give it to me. And I was like, what? And he's like, just give it to me. So the boy, right? And he's like, why did you do it? And I was like, dude, this fool gassed me. He smelled it. And he's like, man. Like, he knew, and this was, he was a Blackfooter. He was really cool. I'm pretty sure you remember him. He was known,
Yeah.
And he goes, just give it to me, and it's going to be gone. So he did me a bottle. He got rid of the shit for me, and I went to lock up. The city tried to pick up the case, YA tried to prosecute me for this shit. But since there was no weapon, and that fool Puppet Luke, he wasn't gonna, he was a gangster, he was a Crip.
Yeah.
He wasn't gonna confess against me, because the rules.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they fucking dropped the case. But when I came back from lockup, I became Firme Raza,
How did that feel? Like coming back, being accepted.
Like I felt like fuck, like it was all worth something. But I wanted it to be better for us,
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but it went from being Firme Raza to being homies,
Yeah.
Like we switched it. Me and a bunch of the homies in lockup, Sad Boy, Tortilla Flats, all of us were
That's
like
the homie right
homies
there.
of that shit,
Yeah.
Yeah. We and Monte Flores, we all agreed. Like we had came to we're all in lockup. A couple of homies from Flores, Colonel Chicas, even though these fools hated me, they respected me, and they knew that I was gonna have the best interest for the homies, Like we all got together and we agreed that there was gonna be no more raping of our people. There was gonna be no more selling, because we used to sell each other. I don't know if you remember that. You could own a Mexican, like a black person would have a Mexican. Like you couldn't do that no more. We changed all that shit, We took care of our own. If our people were weak, we took care of them, We didn't humiliate them. There was no more homosexual shit. Like we put a stop to all that shit. It was better,
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing, what people don't know is about the youth authority, it doesn't exist anymore, but at the time that it did, it was a lot of mind games. And being from a larger gang, I did want to break my enemies, and that was we were successful in almost all of our enemies. And one thing I could say for sure is one we didn't get was you. You know what I mean? Like you rode to the end. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that shit as a G, just as a gangster. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, Beaver ain't going out. Like by the time I got there, you had already had fucking fights after fights after fights, and all that shit had happened before I even got there. And then I was like, man, maybe other fools are all gangsters like that, but nah, there was fools from different neighborhoods. Yeah, Sangra, Lomas, Little Hill. Yeah, and
Little Hill, Little big case up like nothing.
Yeah, and it was crazy because it was. I think I got down with the. I was in the cottage with the homie from Lomas. Maybe a week. He went to lock up. He came back, cased up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you refused to do that. And as a man, as a G, I respect that shit. You know what I mean? I can never say anything bad about Beaver. You know what I mean? Like people say, what's up with Beaver from Northside Bowling? I say, yeah, I know him. What do you think about him? Motherfucker's a gangster. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, and I respect that shit, G. Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Because like I was saying, it literally, like I used to live in Monte, and I used to live on Tyler and Elliot. It was right by the Klingermans. I would see the people that I knew, and they'd be like, hey, what's up, G? Because they know I show respect,
Yeah.
Even though we had our issues, I never had no problem, because I know how to carry myself. And you know what? Like, I thank God. It sounds fucked up, but I thank God that I went to YA, because, like I said, I ended up becoming a criminal. I went to prison, and it prepared me for prison. That's what you were saying, that they shut it down because it didn't work, Instead of helping me, it made me a harder criminal. I got out of YA, and I was involved in more shootings. We would shoot at the police station. We didn't give a fuck, YA fucks up your head,
So let's talk about that. When you first get out, right? So you find out you're going home.
Yeah.
You make it out on the streets. Was there ever a thought of you saying, you know what, I let's figure out what I'm gonna do with my life. I want to do something better, or were you just so like entrapped in that mindset where you were like, nah, I'm a fucking gangster. It's time to do some gangster shit.
It fucks up your head, yeah. I wasn't trapped. Like my mind was, I got out and I couldn't adapt. I didn't know how to be around women again. I was just like so in like like traumatized off the fucking experiences that I had in YA, you know?
Yeah.
Just imagine you going everywhere and you're gonna get got. Every class, every fucking time you go to sleep, you're gonna get jumped. Or it was bad. It fucked up my head, you know? So I had to go hard, you know? So when I got out, it was bad. I went crazy, you know?
How long were you on the streets before as a free man before you ended up back in the system, going to
Two
prison?
weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Damn.
2 weeks. I did 7 years, and I got busted for armed robbery. I went to prison for the first time for armed robbery. We were gonna rob an armored truck, and one of my homies was too high, and we ended up robbing some other fools, you know, and I got busted.
And how was that your first time in prison? Was it a big difference than your first time in YA or your time in YA?
The prison in YA is different, but it was literally like I was made for it, you know. I felt like I was home, you know. I felt like I had been in YA getting ready for prison, you know, because like I said, I was already stabbing people in YA. By the time I went to prison, stabbing people was nothing, you know. I was a fucking professional at it, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't have that fear that most people have, you know. I could stand alone. I was a born leader, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't have that fear. I had that heart. Because if you have that heart, you could do anything.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And how long did you do that time in prison?
I did 5 years, but I was in, like I said, I was a fucking knucklehead. So I went to Tracy, I went to Corcoran, and I ended up in the shoe in Corcoran. I was just kicking up dust right there también. Same shit, like I said, you know. And I got out of prison 5 years, and then I was out for maybe like 2 months. Same shit. I went back to prison again. I did another 5 years.
God damn.
This time I went to Folsom, I went to St. Quentin, I went to fucking Soledad, all these fucking stupid prisons, you know.
How old are you by the time you get out of prison this time? That second time?
The first time I got out, I was like 20 something, 24 or something like that. Like almost all my 20s I was in prison. And then I get out again, I have a baby, and then I go back to prison again. This time I'm in county, and waiting to go to prison, Supermax, right? We have a big ass riot, and we're going at it with the Judas, because you know how sometimes we have to go at it with the Judas. And fucking, I'm in this big ass riot, and I'm actually death out of 1 year because of the situation.
Well, let me explain that real fast though. So what he means by going at it with the Judas, for people that don't know, it's basically Southsiders, you know what I mean, against the cops in there. So yeah, so it's not just gang banging shit. Like they're to us, you know, they're the biggest gang in there are the cops. So you know,
exactly.
It's time to go at it with them. So go ahead. You're deaf out of 1 year.
So what happened in that situation is I'm already sentenced to go to prison. I'm in Supermax, and you know the high counter, we gotta go at it with the Judas. I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. And you know the homies are scared. A lot of homies don't want to fight the cops. But the thing about me is I had been in prison so long and I had been in YA, it helped me to become a good person. Like I told you, you know, you could talk to people and just make it happen. So I told them, look, we're gonna have to do this, but I'm gonna be right there. I'm gonna be riding with you. I ain't gonna be one of those fools that's gonna be like, you guys go on the front. And I was, like I said, I was a born leader, you know. I told them I'll never make you do something that I wouldn't do. So as soon as the lieutenant came in, I was the first one. I fucking punched that motherfucker, and we just started going at it with the Judas, you know.
Yeah.
I feel the fact that I was so involved and so helpful to them like that they just followed, you know. That shit came on the newspaper and everything.
How did it feel to see it in the newspaper?
It felt good. Like, you know, like, fuck, we did that shit. Like, that was us, you know? We did it because we had to. It was for the cause, you know? It was like, I don't know what the cause was at the time, but it was a sense of, you know, camaraderie, you know? Like I was one, I grew up to be one of the old school fools. Like, not like the new guys that are all about selling drugs and fucking their people up. I wasn't like that. You know, I was about camaraderie. I'll help you out when you were down on the floor. I'll give you shoes. I'll give you food and not drugs, you know?
Yeah.
If you were on drugs, then that was on you, you know. But I took care of my people, you know. I was good. I led by example all the time. Like, even in prison, I got a solid ass name because of my way of thinking, you know. And that day I got shot because I wouldn't stop hitting the lieutenant. Not because I wanted to, but just to tell my people, like, this is for us, you know.
Yeah.
Like, they're not gonna fuck with our people, you know. So I got shot on the head, and I can't hear shit now in 1 ear.
You got shot with was it like a beanbag, a pepper ball?
A blocker.
Oh damn! So a block hit the side of your head, and that's it. You lost hearing in your ear.
I have no hearing. I couldn't hear on my right ear. See?
Damn.
But this helped me though, and it's fucked up because I used this to my advantage. Because when I went to prison again, this time I was considered disabled. It sounds funny, but I was considered hearing impaired.
Yeah.
So now, instead of giving up in the game, I only use it to manipulate the game. You
Yeah.
know, I would use it to like sneak in more drugs, sneak in more weapons to the prison because I was handicapped. Who's gonna suspect the handicapped guy? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's sad, but I did it. You know?
So
But
after this the riot and this stay in prison, you I mean you're pretty much got what you wanted as a youth. You know what I mean? You have the respect you wanted.
yeah,
Your name's well. You have the acceptance. Everybody accepts you not only as a member but as a leader now. Uh,
yeah.
how do you feel? You're basically at the top of your game now. How do you feel before you get out of prison now?
By the time this time I got out, like I said, my name was Gold. So I'd go to the prisons and people were like, "Hey, what's up, my boy? What's up?" You know, it was something that I've always wanted. You know,
Yeah.
but it's weird because that's who I am when I'm in prison. You know, people see me on the streets and they're like, "Hey, well, I have to explain it to them. You know, that's why I'm in prison out here. I'm a regular dude. You know, I can't hold on to that.
Yeah.
Why? Because when I did hold on to it, all you're gonna do is, you know, all the people end up doing life in jail, strung out, or you know, like, and I have kids now, so you know, my kids hear about this shit. They'll be like, "What? My dad's been in prison?" I'm like, you know what I mean? Don't believe what your mom says, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's crazy. My homies to this day will hear about me and be like, "Oh man, that's the fool that shot the police station." I'm like, it might have been me, you know? But it's crazy because once you get that fame, it's like you just get it and you just put it away somewhere, you know? I don't hold on to it. But I'm just glad that I got it.
What was it that made you want to put it away? I mean, put it to the side and just kind of be a hood legend instead of like going all out with it, like saying, you know what, I'm gonna continue with this, see how far I could take it.
Honestly, I think it was my kids, one, and two is like I became dysfunctional. Like I would get out and I was a heavy drug user because of my trauma in prison, you know, or I was a heavy, like today I still drink, but people don't understand. They're like, why do you drink like that? It's because look at the trauma that I experienced, you know. Even when I was in prison, like, there was days where there was a couple of times that I had hits on me, you know, to get stabbed in prison. But because of my heart that I got from YA, I never broke, you know. I would tell them, you guys are going to stab me, that's fine. Stab me, but I'm going to come back, and I'm going to stab everybody that was talking about stabbing me. And if old boy was there listening to you talk, I'm going to stab him for listening,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, because you've already went at it with tons and tons of people, so this is nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. And the thing about being in prison is everybody hides behind everybody. You got that backup. You have that wall. Nobody knows what it's like to stand alone. And thank God that I went to YA and I stood alone. I didn't have fear. I didn't have that fear, you know. I didn't have a fear of stabbing somebody or having a shank in my ass, because there was a lot of situations where I had to do what I had to do, you know.
Yeah.
And there were situations where it was me and like fucking 20 black folks, and they're trying to intimidate me, and I would be like, hey, look, you know what? I'm right here by myself. I don't need nobody. Like, I'm right here by myself. I'm my own man. I'm letting you know this is what's going to happen. We're not going to back down this set.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about how you word things, you know. I don't believe in aggressiveness. You don't have to say bad words. You don't have to scream at nobody to get your point across. You just have to tell them straight out in a good way, and that's going to intimidate them more. So, you know, it's like an intimidation game, you know. Who's going to back down first?
It's a mind game.
It's a mind game, exactly. And I feel like YA was full of mind games. So when I went to prison, that was a natural. You know, people were like, oh, we got to stab that for them. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I was like, yeah. I was a professional. You know, I'd be walking around with drugs and knives in front of the cops, and they would never think it. I'd be passing out food with fucking drugs in my hands, you know? I was a professional, you know, because of YA, and YA helped me become a better criminal, you know?
Damn. Yeah, so it's sad though. 'Cause how old are you when you get out for the last time? When you're finally say?
I just recently got out. I recently got out 2014, and I was still involved in the shenanigans, you know. But like I was a more smarter criminal, you know. I was more discreet, more clean on my phone calls, more clean on my conversations with people. I knew how to work the system.
Yeah.
But what made me really say fuck it, I was involved in a situation, you know, I'm not going to say too much because it's a known situation that happened, and they were going to take me out, whatever. And I was like, fuck this. I'm not gonna go out like that. I stood up for myself, but I said, this is the last time. This is it.
Yeah.
Here I am giving my life to the game, and the game that I respected, that I love, that I idolized, that I wanted to be part of, it's gonna take me out.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
So,
I'd rather have a name that's gold, homie, than go out like a sucker,
Yeah, hell yeah. So you straighten that out. You get out now, and you said 2014 is your last time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I've been out since.
how old were you in 2014?
Fuck, I don't even remember. I was like in my 30s.
30. So by the time you're in your 30s, you
that's
spent all of your teens
Yeah, 'cause
in prison. I mean, in YA. Most of your 20s
everything.
in prison
I got
system.
out. In total, I have almost 20 years that I've been in jail.
Damn.
And like I told you, everybody knows me. Like I'll go to car shows, I'll go to swap meets. I'll be like, hey, what's up, these? I'll be like, fuck, I don't even know this fool. I don't remember him because I stand next to so many people from prison and YA. I don't remember, and I keep in touch with a lot of homies from YA and prison. Those are really your friends. I feel like my homeboys are my homeboys. I got mad love for my hood. I'm always gonna be from my hood. But you make some good friends along the way. Like look at me and you, we're rivals, but I always be like, hey, how you doing? How's your family doing? It's that camaraderie. That's what I wanted.
Yeah,
I was
hell yeah.
confused,
Yeah, because there's good people out there. No matter it's based.
where you're from.
Yeah, because there's no matter like I've had homies that, like you said, rivals that I'm real cool with. You know what I mean? I was real cool with Danger from Eastside Bowling. He was cool as fuck. You know what I mean? Stomper from Northside Bowling. It was the homie and shit.
Yeah.
You even have Bloods, my boy. You mean Milkman from Pasadena Devil Lanes? Rest in peace. That was the motherfucking boy right there.
That fool died.
Yeah.
Damn,
Unfortunately,
I remember him.
that was a boy right there. You know what I mean?
remember him.
Like
Hey, that fool was with it too.
yeah, there was
That
people
fool
from
was with it.
all walks of life. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're right. There's a camaraderie, and
Yeah, well, I remember how you didn't get along with DPS. I had issues with them, and one of my best friends was Black. Era un negrito, he was black, but he was cool as fuck. And this is the thing, is that, we grow up and you feel like, oh, we gotta hate black people. I never understood why.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I know it is what it is. But some of my best friends were fucking black. That
Yep.
fool, I don't know if you remember Spider from 87 Gangsters.
Oh, that's the homie right there. Yeah, it's crazy. We went YA together. Our YA numbers are one number apart.
That fool I known him since I was a kid, dog. And you know what? He grew up and he became a leader. I was in a fucking big ass riot with him in prison, right?
Yeah,
This fool looked at me and I'm strapped up. He's strapped up and this fool just pretending he doesn't even see me.
yeah. That's
Because
him and
we're
his brother
friends from
Bone.
YA. Yeah, Bone, crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's what people don't understand, and I think a lot of that hate comes from not understanding. You get from different sides. It's just like Ballpark and Monte.
Exactly.
It's the same thing,
Yeah.
but we just think it's different, and there's slight differences, but we think it's way different. And then when you see somebody of a different race, different style of dress, you're gonna think, oh, they're way different. But once you get into the system, you see we're basically all in there fighting for crumbs. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's crazy.
Yes. So you're out now. You've been out since 2014. You're transitioning into your new life. How, is that a difficult transition now? Because you've already accomplished what you wanted to. You got your name. You got your respect. You got that. Now you have a new journey you're following. How's that go? How does that go?
Now it's like the only thing is like that transition is not easy. You either have to have somebody helping you get a good job, or somebody that sucks.
Yeah. And what have you been doing to I mentioned in the beginning you're a comedian. How did you get into that?
Yeah. I actually so one of my friends right from work, she signed me up right for open mic, and I didn't know what to talk about. So you know what I did is I talked about what I know is jail.
Yeah.
I started saying funny stories, how shit would happen to me, and how when I got out, I still had that jail mentality of like hooping shit, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to hoop shit in prison. So when I said that, this is it's a white America, so they hear that shit and they're like, oh my god, it's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's true, because when I go into these comedy clubs and stuff like that, like I talk about everyday life, like just recently I got beat up by the cops. I got into an altercation with the cops maybe like a month ago, and I went to a comedy show I was fucked up I got fucked up by the cops. So I say I turned my fucked up situation into a good situation. I talked about how they beat me up, and you know how I said I was like, you know, there's a lot of situations you could think about when you get beat up by the cops. But me and you were from the hood, so being beat up by the cops is nothing. You know, we're like, fuck it, happens,
Yeah.
you know. So, you know, most people are like, where's the camera at? Where's the cell phone at? Like me, when I get beat up by the cops, I was just thinking like, fuck, I shouldn't have worn my motherfucking favorite shirt, you know? Because you're going to ruin your favorite shirt, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And like I said, white America loves that. They love it. I did a show in Palm Springs recently, right?
Yeah.
And I still dress like a homie. I wear flannels, all that shit, like, because that's who I am, you know?
Yeah.
And the people were like, oh my God, we love your character, your persona. And I was like, this is not a persona. Like, I'm a real gang member. Like, this is me. And she's like, oh my God, Bill, he's still in persona. And I'm like, oh, like, I'm a real gangster. Like, I'm not playing, you know. But they laugh at it because they think it's a game. They think it's a joke. But it's entertaining. So I was like, you know, I'll write it.
Yeah.
And I've been doing good. I've done shows at the Ontario Improv. I've done the Brea Improv. I'm going to do the Brea Improv this Sunday, actually. I'm going to be performing with Frankie Quinones and fucking Cholo Joe.
So that's Sunday, July 7th?
Sunday. Yeah. It's crazy. You see me and you be like, this motherfucker is funny, but I'm pretty funny. I've done the Laugh Factory. I've done Morongo Casino. I fucking sold that motherfucker out. And it was just me and some fucking Cortez with some dickies.
How does that feel now? Is that a different kind of feeling? Because you wanted that respect and that acceptance as a child joining a gang. You got it in prison, in YA in prison. Now you're receiving it on a different stage. How does that feel?
Honestly, it feels better. It feels like that other respect was good too. Like it's good. Like I know that chapter's closed and I can walk around good. But now to be accepted by the white America, for a white person to be like, oh my God, let's take a picture with this Cholo guy. I'm like, some people be like, oh, the Cholo comedian. I'm like, all right. It feels good. It feels good for them not to be scared of me. Because before they would see me on the street, they'd be like, oh my God, they're gonna rob me. Now it's like they're like getting my picture, taking autographs of me and shit. It feels good. You know?
Yeah, that'll work. And this probably won't be available before the 7th. Do you have anything after the 7th is coming up?
I have a couple shows. I'm gonna go to the Ice House. I mean, like I said, I got different promoters. I'm telling you, these guys are like us. They're going here pimping me out and shit. But no, it sounds funny. Yeah, serio, they do. You know, but I'll keep you updated and we'll post some shit up. So you guys, I'll even promote it on my shows too. Cause I always go to the Ice House, the House of Blues. I've sold that motherfucker out. Like on Father's Day, I did a big ass show because I don't have a dad, right?
Yeah.
I was just talking about how I didn't have a dad, you know. And I was like, you know what's the best thing about not having a dad? And they're like, what? And I was like, you could blame everything on that motherfucker, you know? Fuck it. You know what I mean? I was like, why'd you join the gang? Because I didn't have a dad. Fuck it, you know? Yeah. It's some funny shit, imagine.
Yeah. Like that's like you're turning your tragic events, it's a comedic gold. And now to sell out the House of Blues, how does that feel?
That shit feels good, man, because it's the House of Blues holds I think 112 people. I sold it out a couple times. It was good. And this is all Disneyland people, you know?
Yeah.
Motherfuckers walking in there with Disneyland shirts, you know? And they go to see me and it feels good, you know? They'll be like, oh my God, let's go take a picture with it. I'm like, oh shit, it was good. They give you free food, free drinks, and they pay you good money too, man. They hook you up. It's a good environment. The only thing that sucks is like so much of a good thing, so much drinking and illegal activity happens too. You know how it is. It's fucking show business. But I feel like fuck, I was cut out for that shit right there.
So what's the ultimate goal for Victor Zapata?
Ultimate goal, honestly, I want to do like either a HBO special or Comedy Central or Netflix special. I want to shoot for the stars, man. Like I feel like I already did my time in the fucked up side. I want to do in the light, I want that spotlight now,
Yeah.
I never thought that people would be interested in somebody like me, But they are, I guess I'm an interesting person,
You know what's crazy? I've always had that same feeling, and I think that there's gold and there's gems in the hood. What do you think it is that makes us feel that way? Like nobody cares about my story. You know, like what is it? Like we have some very interesting stories. I've been talking to you for I don't even know how long now, but it
Yeah.
hasn't seemed that long. Uh,
Yeah, because
but
we're just,
it's flowing. You know what I mean? Because it's interesting stories. What do you think it is that makes us feel that way?
I just feel it's the fact that we don't see it nothing different. Like we just look at it like it's an everyday thing, you know. Like to
Normalize it.
us, like the stories we say is like, just another day in the, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Like we normalize the brutality and
Yeah.
cruelty. Damn.
Everything is just usual. Like I said, when I got beat up by the cops, I wasn't even tripping. I was just like, fuck, I got beat up by the cops again. Like, fuck. You know, because it wasn't my first time, you know? It
Yeah.
wasn't. And I'm telling you, I did a show at the House of Blues with a black guy. And I said this, I was saying the truth. They're like, you know, you probably think I got domestic violence, but not. I got beat up by the cops.
Domestic violence.
Yeah, you know, my baby ain't killing me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Crazy.
do you have anything else you want to say before we end it?
No, that's good. I mean, I'm happy with the situation. I'm happy with we got to talk again. And like I said, everybody look out, man, because I'm gonna come Netflix, at least.
Oh, you're gonna get it. No, Netflix is big time now. You know what I mean? There's a lot of funny
It
ass fuck.
is, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So Netflix, I would shoot for that. You know what I mean? The HBO, Comedy Central, either
Yeah.
one. But just man to man, before we end it, just want to let you know that me personally, I'm proud of you, dog. You know what I mean? Like a win, like I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you win, you're taking the SGV with you because the SGV's winning. The Rasa's winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm rooting for you because you're us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your win is our win. That's the way I look at it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's true. That's true.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's Victor Zapata right there. You're gonna be hearing a lot more about him. And thank you for talking to me today, G.